What we need? Okay, I saw something pop up here. Okay. It's not, but we can get it corrected and get it to them. Okay, perfect. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. We already in November. I'd like to call the City Council meeting to order. Madam Clerk, at 6:01. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll? Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Messick.
Present.
Councilmember Don Dixon.
Present.
Councilmember Powell.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Present.
Councilmember Lester. And Councilmember Alfred Dixon.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Council, we have an agenda before you. There is one addition. Chief, would you like that to be added to new business to go to the, possibly to the consent agenda? So there's a matter, item EF, discussion from JPD. Are they radios? Is that the best way to?
Yes, ma'am. In-car radio.
So that's a discussion from Police Department for in-car radios. Madam Clerk, was there anything else that we were adjusting or changing or taking off?
Yes, Finance Department would like council to consider approval of a fee for Tyler Technologies to do a data conversion on Fund 250 so that the city can manage grant accounting.
Okay, I'm just gonna put G, finance, but you have the exact item to be added.
Okay.
So council, 2 additions so far before I entertain some from the council. Discussion, item F, discussion from Chief Cato, and item G, discussion from Finance Department. Were there any other ones?
We do have one photo discrepancy. I don't think it'll be maybe amendment to the agenda. In our book for variants 1 through 3, we have the wrong site photos, but however, the correct photos are in number 4, variance request number 4.
Okay, so just strike the photos from 1, 2, and 3 and the other one.
Yes.
Council, any other additions?
Mayor Sardi.
Yeah.
I do have, if I would like to actually strike the Jonesboro Youth City Government discussion, the budget update discussion. We do have a meeting with financial director candidate this week. So I'd like to scratch that from the,
Would you like to keep the internship program?
correct.
Is the internship program related to the Jonesboro Youth City Government, or just the internship program period?
City of Jonesboro internship program.
Okay, so let's amend item G to include a discussion of the City of Jonesboro internship program only.
Okay.
All right, nobody else to the right, let's move over here to the left. Council, do we need executive session for today?
Did we have any personal matters we needed to?
I didn't have any.
Okay. I don't know.
We'll strike executive session. All right, so let me just go over the changes. Item F, added discussion from Police Department. Item G, discussion from Finance Department. All of that up under new business. Old business is item G to only include council to discuss the Jonesboro City of Jonesboro internship program, and no executive session this evening. Thank you so much, council. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with said changes.
Motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Did we strike the executive session?
Mhm.
Okay.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion, council? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so much. There are no presentations at this time. We're going to do the presentation in the body of the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes, the applicant's presentation is going to go with the actual items.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody have the? Thank you so much. Council, at this time we'll hear public comments. Citizens will be given 3 minutes, maximum time limit to speak before the mayor and council. Comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over matters which the governing body has jurisdiction. Speakers must maintain decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon the mayor and council. Please state your name and address. Speak clearly into the microphone. Speakers should be courteous, respectful, and not make any disparaging remarks or use abusive language when addressing the mayor and council. At this time, we have Lance Van Dyke. Hey, Lance.
Lance Van Dyke, I'm a business owner here, 251 South Main Street. I've been up here before. I've been working and working to try to get some relief from the zoning restrictions on my property. I've put emails, phone calls, not gotten anything done up to this point. I have a property that even the Clayton County has agreed has depreciated $250,000 because of changes in zoning. I'm seeing where you're looking to put up new residential properties in the area. I can only think that they're gonna change my zoning again. I have a retirement I'm trying to get ready for. This has directly affected me as a 25-year member of this community and a property owner. And I'm just not getting any answers from anyone.
Mr. Van Dyke, who have you reached out to?
I forgot her name.
Okay,
The
Mrs.
zoning,
Faith Fakuta?
yes.
Okay. You're currently zoned for,
I was zoned, I think it was C3, but now I'm in that
Overlay.
Southern Gateway. And so I own a 12,000 square foot warehouse that is no longer zoned for use as a warehouse, as an auto dealer, as a service shop, which it's been for 25 years. I'm zoned basically for professional building, medical, lawyer's office. I mean,
okay. Attorney Dreyer, let's, because I thought you all had when we spoke, we talked about you all had gotten grandfathered in.
and they don't accept the grandfathering because one of the businesses change ownership. When I say changed ownership, one of the primary owner left, but the secondary owner who was on stayed, but they say that doesn't
Is that the
count.
property you're referencing?
Yes.
Okay.
The business, yes. And they wouldn't allow for a continuation. Now they say, well, it's been more than 6 months, so
Yes, sir.
they can no longer be grandfathered in. But also that still affects my property values and way of selling my property.
Ask him to fill that out right there, and then we'll make sure he gets a phone call tomorrow. You will get a phone call tomorrow, I promise. Thank you so much.
Okay. 794-6772. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Next, Dylan Corrales.
Good evening. My name's Dylan, and I'm a resident here in Jonesboro. Last week, I got a letter in the mail labeled Office of the Mayor Official Tax Update. Naturally, I thought, how exciting, another opportunity to pay the city more money. But when I opened it, I was quite disappointed. It wasn't a tax update at all. It was a political letter warning me about how bad the mayor is, directly from the mayor's office. Of course, if anyone would know, it's them. Now, maybe it's just me, but I always thought taxpayer money was for things like roads or water service or picking up trash, not a publicly subsidized electioneering campaign. So I just want to make sure I understand. Are we offering a taxpayer-funded community mailer program now? Because I've got some opinions that deserve stamps too. I'm just wondering when residents get their turn. Do I drop off my stack of flyers at the mayor's office during normal business hours? Or will the code enforcement officer be picking them up along with the yard debris we used to send out? Finally, I want to thank the mayor for this fresh new approach to city finances. At 78 cents a stamp, buying a book felt like taking out a mortgage. With federal benefits disappearing fast, it's comforting to know the city is stepping up, one taxpayer-funded mailer at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you brought that up. I was supposed to read this statement earlier. But on October 30th, on or about, numerous letters were sent out purporting to be from the mayor's office, Jonesboro Official Tax Update, addressed at 183 Lee Street, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, which is actually my home address. The letter contains a list of slanted statements and questions based on false premises, all related to derogatory things for my role as mayor, which I would never send out anything bad about me. We understand it is a federal law which prohibits using the United States Postal Service to send mail with a fraudulent return address. These political mailers are not an official tax update. They were not sent from the office of the mayor, and they were not sent from the purported address. These political mailers do contain false or misleading information, falsely state that it's an official tax update, and contains false information about who actually sent the letter. They also contain information regarding the false information regarding the return address. This is being referred to the United States Postal Service Office of Inspector General for further prosecution. I do appreciate you making that comment, sir. The city, we don't use stamped letters, for one. We use a metered service, and that way you can always assure that those letters come directly from City Hall. We also, if we're sending things like when you received your mailer for where to go vote, you see those come from a direct mailer. So you would never see stamped address. And if you look closely at it, and the chief now has a copy of it, it was mailed from Atlanta. And so the mayor definitely wouldn't go to Atlanta to raise a letter. But thank you for bringing that up. And again, my apologies for that. It's very concerning, and we'll be working to prosecute to the fullest and investigate completely. All righty. Now we can move to, there are no public hearings, but we will move to first item on new business.
A, council to discuss conditional, I'm sorry. So Mayor, Faith Akuda, our Community Development Interim Director, is requesting to hear this item at the very end of new business so that it can flow with her presentation.
So can we do, okay, hold on a second. Why can't we hear A and B together?
So, Mayor, A under new business is the conditional use approval, conditional use application.
I mean, not together, but I'm just saying like,
And under old business, A, B, C, and D are associated. So, I don't know if it will flow back.
oh, okay, so, okay, I'm sorry.
If we can end new business with the conditional use approval tied to the variances in old business.
Okay, but can we go to item B of new business?
Yes.
Okay, we should have made a agenda amendment. Council, are y'all okay with that, or do you want to officially amend the agenda to move item A to accompany the rest of the pertaining items in old business? Are y'all okay with that?
Is A going to old business with the?
Yes.
Okay, let's just make it official.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
Yeah. No.
So A is a new business. I'm not sure if it can go under old business.
So-
It has to remain under under new business since it's new.
Mayor,
So it's a new item, but that's the parcel, that's the,
Yes, so the new conditional use approval is the additional parcel that the applicant
yeah, so we
is
can hear
adding.
that separate. We can go ahead and hear that now, I'm sorry. So, we don't have to do the full presentation, let's talk about this item right here.
It flows together. 'Cause
No,
it
but the
all-
actual parcel though, this is just asking. Yeah, so I think the addition of the parcels don't have to. Just talk about this one.
Yes, please.
So you're just gonna, we need to hear this one separate because it's a parcel expansion.
Okay, so, okay, we can do it separate, but it was tied to the variances, and just to give an overall scope of the project, it would have been, I guess, for visual sake, just to see the project in its totality, to do it at once. We can still, well, we would still have to vote, see, you would still have to vote individually, but just one presentation with everything to see the full scope of the project.
Mayor,
Yes.
we're not voting tonight anyway. We've got this week.
Yeah, we're voting next week, so
Okay.
that's why. So just read what the parcel, just read what item A is. Just read the
Okay.
item, and then add anything to it, and then we'll still keep the agenda as it is, and then you can elaborate on the discussion when you get to the old business.
Okay.
All right, so can you call the item?
Yes. Council to discuss, new business A, council to discuss conditional use permit application number 25 CUP 009, submitted by Max Coulton for properties located at 262 and 294 South Main Street. Parcels number 06032A, B002, 06032A, B002Z, 06032A B003, and 06032A B006, Jonesboro, Georgia 30236, within the MX Mixed Use District and the G Gateway South District. The properties consist of 29.14 plus or minus acres. The request is for a multifamily development. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
Thank you. So, good evening, Mayor and Council. The item before you is for conditional use approval to expand on a project that previously received a conditional approval in August of last year. So, on September 16, 2024, the applicant received a conditional use approval for parcels 06032A B002 and 06032A B002Z, subject to conditions to permit a multifamily development consisting of 3 four-story buildings, a central amenity area, and approximately 200 residential units. That approval was conditioned on the compliance with sections 86-205, multifamily apartments, section 86-101 of the RM multifamily district standards, and section 18-118 of the Gateway South overlay district standards.
So this one, basically, they're just adding a parcel to the
Yes.
overall, so.
To the parcel they're requesting all the variances
Yeah.
for, yes,
So they're adding 06032A B003.
yes,
And so when they have future discussions upon the old business, it would include all four, it would
the
be to
variances to be
pertain.
tied to this addition, yes.
Correct. So council, are y'all good with that?
So they're adding just another parcel to
Yeah.
the next discussion.
Correct.
Correct, yes, because they
So-
expanded their footprint.
And so basically, we'll just need to items A, B, and C, when we do approve them next week, would have to include the addition of that additional.
Correct,
Correct. So basically, once we approve, if we were to approve it next week, we would start off by approving the additional parcel, and then every condition will apply to all four parcels and not the 3.
yes.
Yeah, anybody have any questions or concern about adding that additional parcel? Okay, that's why I just wanted to get that out and be clear. And then next week, when we would still have to amend the agenda based on doing those, and you can clump them together.
Okay.
Okay. All right, item B.
Okay. Council to discuss conditional use permit application 25 CUP 010, submitted by Sharita Cherry for properties located at 8712 Tara Boulevard, parcel number 05242B A002, Jonesboro, Georgia 30236. The property consists of 0.40 plus or minus acres. The request is for the operation of a technical and trade school for cosmetology. Staff recommends approval.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens of Jonesboro. The applicant requests a conditional use permit to operate a technical trade school for cosmetology within the Office and Institutional Zone District, which requires a conditional use approval. The property was developed in 1954 and is approximately 0.40 plus or minus acres. This is a legal conforming lot under Article X, and the proposed use will not expand the lot or building footprint. Existing parking is set back from residential lots and buffered by a 6-foot fence, mitigating impacts of neighbors. Staff finds the property suitable for the proposed use and recommends approval.
Council, y'all see the picture of that building that's been vacant for a second, so I'm glad to see somebody getting in there. Council, any questions?
No questions.
All right, thank you so much. Item C.
Council to discuss repairs at 173 Cloud Street.
Thank you so much. Mr. Hurd, you might have to help me, or Shelby, they've been working on this project. We've been working closely with Lowe's as a partner for, here you go, 173. Mr. Hurd did an assessment of the property. If you recall, the city on our day of service kind of got everything straight on the outside, but there were a significant number of damages and repairs that needed to be repaired. Mr. Hurd,
Yes, ma'am.
you can use your mic there. Is this list exhaustive of all the repairs that we noted, including the kitchen floor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There needed to be some updating for all the electrical, as far as replacing the outlets, the switches, the plates. Those things needed to be I don't know the word, GCIC certified, something like that, certified. The countertop also need to be replaced. So Lowe's has given us this price. We will get another one, but I just kind of want to give you guys a update. And I think there's a significant discount on this, but due to the amount, we'll get at least one more or another one. What we were running into was finding a company that could do everything as a one-stop shop rather than contracting out electrical, contracting out paint. Did y'all have any questions for that?
Mayor, I had a question on it.
Yes, sir.
And this is in regards to the timeline. I see it says 2 to 3 weeks, so we're looking at maybe like a month.
Yeah, I'm assuming. It doesn't look like there, I'm assuming there's nothing significant in here that I think would be as far as having trouble getting the materials in like we had at Public Works. Okay. And I'm assuming, council, you all would want a second quote. Yes.
Didn't some appliances need to be replaced as well? Is that included?
Yeah, so no, this is just a renovation, and did you tell him to take the appliances off?
Yes.
Yeah, so we told him not to include the appliances because I felt like we could shop around and get, so it needs a refrigerator and it needs a stove. So this is just construction.
Okay.
But they did say that they would give us the best list price for when we got to that point, but I didn't include those. But I figured between a refrigerator and a stove, maybe $1,000 or something. We'll do some good shopping. But our hope is to hopefully have another quote soon so that we can get started with the preliminary repairs. Yes. Any other questions? Okay. And council, I guess I would ask, once we get at least one more renovation project quote, are you all, if it's around the amount of $20,000, would you all would consider making those repairs? Or is there another way you want me to look into this? I wouldn't say it's, well, I guess I could say it's inhabitable, like, I don't know. Well, the kitchen is inhabitable. Yeah. Any questions? All right. Thank you. Item D.
Letter D, council to discuss an ordinance regarding a budget transfer of $5,000 from tuition reimbursement line item 100-1500-57-9100 to the youth council line item 100-1300, 52-3450.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes,
You
okay.
already-
This is an item that had already been approved. It was a transfer for the youth council to go to their trip. But what I noticed was that the line item that they wanted to take it from, news item, had already been, almost all the money in that line item had been used up. So we really couldn't make the transfer from the newsletter line item because there was an actual newsletter that was done back in June of 2025. And then for some reason, the copier from the mayor's office has been, the copy payments for the mayor's office has been donated to this line also, so.
Not my personal copy, the one
Not-
that we all.
Yeah, I'm just saying the
Yeah,
copy
so
that's
she's trying to figure out how
associated
to reallocate
with
that.
Yeah, so next year we will have a different line to put that into because the newsletter line will go away. But we just couldn't move the 5,000 from this particular line to the youth. So
Was there any
that's-
money left in that particular line?
Yeah, it's a little bit left in there, but.
Like how
the-
much?
3,600 minus the 5,000, so it's about, $2,000 in there.
Okay,
maybe
and so
about
this, so
2,400.
we're clear and transparent. The only thing that's come out of that account was the direct mail, the cost to print the thing and get the newspaper developed,
Yeah.
and the printer for
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, I got the invoices, so.
yeah, in the
if you wanna
mayor's
see
office.
them.
So you want to, how much is the transfer that we were supposed to be making? I forgot.
Would the $5,000 transfer would come from the line item,
You want the
tuition
whole
we-
amount or just?
Yeah, we're gonna take that whole amount out of there because right now we don't have anybody that, is using that.
Tuition, okay.
Using that tuition, so we would move the whole 5,000 to the youth line. And then that way, we would have that corrected.
All right. Council, any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
So the $2,000 that's left is left in a newsletter or left in tuition reimbursement?
It's left in newsletter.
It's left in a
We
newsletter.
still have a couple of more months of the tri-copy for the printer that is used in the mayor's office to come out of there too. So it probably won't be that much left in there at the end of the year.
Okay.
And just so you all know, tuition reimbursement, staff has to submit prior approval for tuition reimbursement, so we're the last semester, so nobody's gonna be requesting tuition reimbursement, because it has to be pre-approved.
Okay.
Any questions, council?
Yes, I had a question. So maybe just for clarity. So did we start off with this budget as, the newsletter budget was 6,500?
6,500.
6,500, and to date, 3,690's been spent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And-
we still have some more tri-copy stuff to put in there, because that's where it's been going this year.
Okay, yeah. Can you just share what the tri-copy is?
It's the contract for all the printers that are in all the buildings, but they started to break the contract up to, this building was in the finance department, so that one goes under 1,500. That printer's in the mayor's office, so they started to put that under 1,300. That building, that printer's downstairs, so, they breaking it up now.
Okay.
Instead of just charging it to one department, all of them are getting charged to all the different departments.
Okay. So once we fix that part of it, then would this read a little differently, that number?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Well, we're not.
No, we're not gonna fix it this year, we're gonna leave it there. And because the newsletter will go away next year. And so next year, we're gonna move that into a different, area for the mayor's,
Well, the
copy.
newsletter not going away.
It's not going away, but the particular money for that is because it was for the mailing for the voting, and since the county is doing that now, we moved that 6,500 out of there,
Okay.
in the budget, I mean.
We're still, the budget's still forming,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's still forming, but but so far we moved it out of there.
Yeah, and I think we were gonna lower it based on the meeting that you all had for the newsletter that y'all discussed, where we only have to pay like a fraction of that cost. Y'all remember, who did that meeting? It's free, but it's something, yeah, so it was like bare minimum, like $650 quarterly.
Oh, okay,
The newsletter itself is free.
okay.
So, any other questions on that?
Yeah, so just for clarity purposes, with these other expenses would be considered office supplies?
These Amazon printer papers, it actually was for printing the newsletter, so I think they're gonna have to stay there. Those charges are gonna have to stay there.
But everything else, like everything that says tri-copy or the OBS sign, newsletter printing,
Yeah.
is that printing?
That was printing too. Actually, that one has your name on it, so,
Yeah, what is for June
Yeah.
6th?
yep, it was.
Some of the 828, I
Yeah.
think, was that the direct mail?
No, I'm talking about June 6th, 2025, the OBS sign.
Yep, that one has your name on it.
I think that was the direct mailer, like whoever mailed it for us.
So I'm looking at
That's at the bottom.
June 6th,
Yeah, I got a copy of it if you wanna see it.
looking at June 6th.
Well, Shelby, was that the, how much was it that Mr. Tran charged us to create it? That might have been Mr. Tran's fee, or
No,
whoever.
it has, the one for 828 has,
No, let's look at
Councilman
6.
Dixon's name on it.
We can look at June 6th, 2025.
Yeah, it says, bill to Alfred Dixon, City of Jonesboro, because I printed it out. It's $828.30. You want to see a copy of it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Well, I know that somewhere in here we had to pay for the formatting of it.
I'm not saying it's coded right, but I'm just saying, that's what's made.
Was the actual print, the paper print.
The company that printed?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
all right. So the direct mail was the fee, the postage.
That is what we had to run through Mr. Tran.
Okay.
And we had to put on a credit card because we had no other option.
Okay. So 828 was actually the cost of printing and design of the newsletter, and 697 was the postage through the direct mailers. Was there any other ones, Councilman Dixon?
I just didn't know it cost $828 to design and to design the newsletter,
No, to print it too.
to design and print.
That was our big holdup on the newsletter. And you'll see the Amazon returns, we had to ship all that paper back as well. So that's where that cost came from.
So by the time, what we calculated, by the time you multiply the 65 times all the paper that we needed, plus the ink that it cost to refill the thing, it came up pretty close to like $800-some. And rather than having staff do it, we just
This
paid.
is actually the cheaper route.
It was a cheaper route, okay.
Thank you.
So how much does one newsletter cost us?
I don't know, do the math, $697 plus $828. Because the original $455 was credited back when we returned it all. Was there any other expenses? I see a $350, I don't know what that's for. Was that the
August-
design cost?
August 26th.
August 26th, $350.
Oh, I don't have that one. I didn't, COJ? I didn't print that one. I was, I'd have to pull that one. I was just looking at the higher amounts ones, so those are the ones I pulled. I have to pull that one.
I know there were 3 charges, the direct mail, the printer, and the design cost. So that might be the 3 different ones.
There's no invoice. Okay.
Any other questions, Councilman Alfred Dixon?
Yes, I guess next week, if you can just provide some clarity on the $300.50.
You could just send that in a group email.
Yeah, I'll just send it to him.
Thank you.
We'll pull it. All righty. Council, are you okay with that, with item D going to the consent agenda? Anybody opposed to it going to the consent agenda?
Not opposed.
Okay. Item D will be moved to the consent agenda.
Okay. We had someone that opposed?
Did somebody oppose it?
I said not opposed.
Not opposed, I think we're
No.
good.
Okay.
Item E,
Council to consider an agreement between the City of Jonesboro, Georgia and Falcon Design Consultants LLC for comprehensive construction project management services related to 100 Gloria Drive project, Public Works Building.
Attorney Dreyer.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Kuda asked me to go through this. So we had discussed that Mr. Whitley was no longer going to be leading this project at Gloria Drive. He is going to be doing work with the city in other areas, though. This contract replaces Mr. Whitley with Falcon Design Consultants, LLC. It's the same price, and they know this has to be done by November 11th. So they didn't have a form contract. This is the one I've used for the city before. So we just inserted the amount, and then as you see, there are their credentials at the end, and I hope we get this done by November 11th with them on board.
Council, if you recall, we met with Falcon, those that attended the retreat in Serenbe. They presented there, so they had already been in our system. Any questions, Council? Yes.
So when I was reading through this, the estimate of the RFP is, I'm sorry.
I can hear you, but I just want to make sure, thank you.
Yes, so the estimate that I'm reading in here is $17,140
Yes.
for Falcon. And you said it's the same price that we were paying Whitley.
I believe, I didn't personally check, but I was
That's
told it
the
was.
difference. So we've already paid Whitley, is that correct, for a certain amount? So the balance that we owed Ms. Mark Whitley is the $17,000. I think the total cost, you have that contract was $33,000 or something?
Yeah, it was around 33. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but that sounds about right.
So
Could you get us those exact numbers this week so we can have those when we
Yes.
vote next week, please?
Yes.
okay, we should have those. Yes.
That's reasonable, yeah, thank you.
Does that change or impact the situation with the person who's going to have oversight over the project?
Yes,
Or-
Falcon will be responsible for, obviously, a few aspects that we need an engineer to do for this project, but it includes keeping us on schedule.
So
I think
the
you're talking
person
about.
that we had allocated money from, the $200 difference that we were going to charge them, but we didn't, and then we were going to pay someone to
No,
oversee
so
the
that
project.
person works, so you're talking about Alliance,
Yeah.
did y'all have a meeting today, Ms. Faith? Y'all did?
Yes, we
So-
had our
so-
standing meeting
Yeah,
today.
so Ms. Adeboye works to have our construction meetings on the Monday of every week, so she's still doing that. And so she'll work along with Falcons as well as the construction company to get it through the finish line.
Yes, Falcon's role would be making sure the construction and timeline and everything is in order, and Ms. Adeboye, her role would be to ensure compliance on both ends as far as what we require for code, as well as the contractors.
Right. And I will say too, just, Mr. Whitley, was very cooperative and helpful during this transition and helped finish up the permitting, or made progress on the permitting process as he was stepping out of this one.
So,
Mayor.
yes.
I'm just curious what other projects Mr. Whitley's gonna be assisting with?
Oh, I don't know. He's used on demand, isn't he? What other projects?
I don't have any additional at this time other than this particular one, but,
Who's doing who's doing the,
so for Public Works, he does the soil and erosion inspections. And I believe that's it. Yeah, that's it.
the soil and erosion?
Which one?
Soil and erosion inspections?
Okay, so have we already paid him this amount of money, and now we're paying someone else the same amount to do the same job?
No, I wish we had those
That's-
numbers. So there is a total amount that was in Mark Whitley's contract.
And I found that, Mayor.
I
You
have
did?
it pulled, oh.
Okay, and we left what we've paid him and told Falcons, you have to finish the job for the balance on what was approved.
That's
Y'all
what
have
I was
those numbers?
Yes.
And Mayor, Clerk Jewett found it, but the total price for the engineering alone was gonna be $31,520. And there were, I don't have the accounting, but there were some amount paid, but only a few dollars, only 10 or 15%. And then this is the remainder that was already budgeted for the Gloria Drive engineering.
So
There's
plus,
there's no increase to the project budget?
no, so the price that we paid Mark Whitley and the price that we paid Falcons will total the $31,000.
As approved, that's right.
Is that correct, Ms.?
Yes, that's correct.
Mhm.
And it won't mess up Didn't we get some of the funds from a particular grant or something like that, that we had all of this switching, it's not gonna mess anything up?
It's
Okay.
it's a grant, because the grant is already funded.
Okay.
Council, are y'all okay with this going to consent agenda? Okay, no opposed. Item F,
Item F, council to discuss Jonesboro Police Department in-car radios.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I come before you because on December 16th of 2024, there was an approval for the purchase of the 4 Interceptor vehicles, which was approved. As part of reviewing that upfit quote, it was discovered that the in-car radios and the camera systems were not included. So while I'm still awaiting a quote for the in-car camera systems, I did receive a quote from Motorola for the amount of $26,000. It's $26,440.60 for those 4 radios. I did seek a purchase order. I'm just waiting council's approval before we can proceed forth with that purchase, because it will take 4 to 6 weeks to get those radios.
and that's for 4 cars?
That's correct.
And that'll go on the new one that we gotta get?
Yes.
Okay. Council, any questions?
This, just a quick question, so, would this be money we could use with that from the grant to help pay for this?
What grant you talking about?
The grant that we recently received, that the police department, or is that for next year?
What grant you talking about? What grant?
The one that you were speaking of that.
Well,
Oh, the one that's held up with the federal government?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
we'll
those
get-
particular grants, we did have to spell out what we intended to purchase, and at that time, this was not part
That
of those
wasn't-
items.
Yeah, and those grants
Um,
are federal funded, so until the federal government budget is approved, we won't receive any of those funding.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think he's worked it out, the line item with Ms. Kennedy.
That's correct. So it'll still have to go under capital outlay, but we can do that line item transfer from the red speed funds.
Thank you so much. Council, are y'all okay moving that to consent agenda?
Can we get a budget amendment on that next week to vote on?
Well, once
So
you
we can
approve it, then
officially-
she makes the budget amendment.
But she just presented us a budget amendment. for
No,
us to
she-
consider on the
No, what I'm
city
saying
council.
is, it's going to the consent agenda, so she'll have it for the consent agenda.
Well, we need to approve the budget amendment, correct? Be a budget amendment so that we can approve it. Because there's an adjustment in the budget, correct?
is not an adjustment in the budget because you have the funds in your line item, I thought.
This was for, he mentioned capital outlay, which would be outside JPD budget, correct?
He has to put it in the capital outlay because it's an improvement to the vehicles. And so it's gonna be like a cost of like $7,000 or $8,000 to add to each vehicle, so we have to put it in.
Okay, so I'm saying, is that a line item needed?
It's a line item.
Is it in the 3,200?
It's in the 3,200. He has that in his line item,
Okay,
Okay,
so it's fine.
that's what I was thinking, okay.
okay.
Council, I do want to go back, item D, should that not be, Attorney Dreyer, a resolution and not an ordinance? A balance transfer should never be an ordinance.
So, for five,
That, yeah, they've been that in the past, so we
Yeah,
just.
that's a bad, I mean, ordinances refer to permanent law changes.
Mhm.
so,
That's just a budget transfer, y'all.
yeah, I think a resolution is fine other than an ordinance. We're talking about the $5,000 line item.
Yeah, you wouldn't do an ordinance for a line item transfer.
I agree with you. I mean, it would be a overkill.
That'd be probably legal too.
No, thank you for catching that. It should be a resolution. This is not the kind of thing we want on muni code.
That's what I was gonna say.
Ordinances, yeah.
Yes.
Do you know how long it'll take for you guys to get the quote for the cameras? Is it something that, so that we can have it for next week and you can go ahead and, since it's gonna take weeks?
I hope so.
Okay.
She's out of the office because they're at the International Chiefs Association Conference, and so they were all coming back, and she's hoping to get that quote to them.
And then based on that quote, if not, we can do like we've done before, approve up to a certain amount. That way it doesn't interfere with him making the purchases prior to that.
Okay.
So it gives ballpark. All right, item G.
Item G, let's see, got the language. Council to consider approval of a fee for Tyler Technologies to do a data conversion on Fund 250 so that the city can manage grant accounting.
Okay. All right, so this is one that I've been trying to work with Tyler about. Right now, because of the way the revenues were set up, all of the revenues start with zero, so it's all 4 zeros in the revenue. But in order for us to do grant accounting, I need to be able to set those to a particular department, like the chief is getting that $5 million grant. In order for us to keep up with that grant, I need to be able to not have that go to all 4 zeros. I need to have that designated to 3,200. And for some reason, Fund 250 was not set up to do that. And so that's what I've been trying to get Tyler to do. And in order for them to do that, they want to charge us $3,500 to do it.
Is that a
So-
yearly fee?
So what, no, it's not a yearly fee, it's a one-time fee. If we had been able to do this when we were setting this up, we wouldn't have to deal with this. But right now, we have to deal with this because it wasn't done during the implementation phase.
And the $3,500, no matter how many grants we have, it'll be.
Yeah, it'll cover all the grants because it's only gonna be 3,500 because we don't have over 500 accounts. So as long as we don't have over 500 accounts, they're gonna charge us 3,500. Then they was trying to charge a fee for how many hours it took them to work on it, but then we were able to get that taken off of there. So it'd just be a flat $3,500 to straighten this out. And going forward, we should be able to do this for all of the funds 5, because we need Fund 745 for the courts to get them out of the.
Pool cash.
No, yeah, we need to get all the, not pool cash, but out of the general fund. They need to have their own fund. They need to be a Fund 745. So this will help us to do these. I can't keep up with any grants because it won't let you do the department. You have to do it all zeros. And then, but it will let you do the expense side as 1,500 or 3,200. It'll let you do that by department, but then I can't go back and run a report that said this was how much money we got into this particular grant versus how much expenses we had.
So trust me on this, she's been on the phone with Tyler for about 20 hours. Council, if y'all don't have any questions, can that go to consent agenda?
I
just
Yeah, I'm
have
sure.
a couple of questions.
Yes.
So, wasn't there something else that Tyler's, an update that needed to be done that we would discuss
Well-
when we were talking about the youth city council? and
Yeah,
the way
that
meeting
will,
was
that
going?
will help this one too, because if we can put it in a Fund 250 also. But we gotta get Fund 250 straightened out, because once we put it into 250, then it will be 250, 1,300. That's the problem I'm having, is everything has to be 250, 0, and then you can't go back and say, okay, in Fund 250, for like 3,200 for like the chief, when that big grant comes in, we can't say 3,200 and just put it there. It's gonna have to be a 0, then all the grants just get, once you print out a report, it just shows all these grants, and you don't know what it was for, which department it went to, and anything like that.
With these larger grants, is Tyler gonna be the best system for you to use? Or is there grant software that would make these grants easier for you to manage?
Let me say it like this, Tyler, as far as government accounting goes, they're about as good as you're gonna get. So, I mean, right now, we've invested so much money in this software, and we gotta make the 250 work. That's all it is. We gotta make it work. Once we get this and we get it working, we'll be fine as to how we account for the grants. Then we'll be able to pull it out and say, this grant was this, and this is the expenses that go along with that grant. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to be able to do. So that's all.
All right, anybody else?
I just got a question.
Yes, Councilman Dixon.
Appreciate your diligence on this. Is this the Tyler updates that you're speaking about? Would these be two separate updates?
Well, the Fund 745 will be different than the 250, because the 745 is only gonna be for the courts. The 250 is gonna be for any grant that we get in the city. But what we'll be able to do now is, like, if a grant came in for the police department, we'll be able to designate that grant just for the police department. So nobody else will be able to spend that money. Only the police department will be able to spend that money. Right now, we can't put a grant by a department. We can only just put it in there. It's just, all these grants are just going in there. And so that's what we need to get straight now.
Gotcha. Now, would this be two separate charges as well?
No, it's just one,
no,
$3,500.
No, just one $3,500 charge.
Okay, thank you.
Because we just didn't get this set up during the implementation phase. I mean, I get where they were coming from with Fund 100, because you know, property taxes and all that stuff, it goes to fund the general fund. So I get it, you don't have to put it into a department. I get that, you can get all zeros. But then somebody needed to explain to them, when we go to the grants, we need to do it by departments and things like that. And that's what didn't happen.
Thank you.
Council, can this go to consent agenda?
Uh-huh.
Will doing this, I know it was an issue about things rolling over and going into the general fund and then not having it for next year. Will this allow those items
Yep.
to stay there?
Yep, grants will not close out.
And
Fund
donations?
Yep, 250s will not close out. They will
That's
not close
wonderful.
out.
Okay, yeah, it can go consent for me, thank you.
Any objection to going to consent agenda? All right, thank you. Let's go to old business, item A.
Old business A, council to discuss variance application 25 VAR 001 submitted by Max Coofton for properties located at 262 and 294 South Main Street, parcels 06032A, B002, 06032A, B002Z, and 06032A, B006, Jonesboro, Georgia 30236, within the mixed-use district and the Gateway South District. The properties consist of 29.14 plus or minus acres. The request seeks relief from the Gateway South District's exterior architectural design and material standards specifically related to porches and balconies. And this is the one where letters A, B, and C, the site photos can be found in variance number 4.
A, B, C, and D. All right, so
Okay.
let's go ahead and have the presentation first. Are you doing the presentation? Okay, good.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens of Jonesboro. Before I go into the presentation, this is for 25 VAR 001 through 25 VAR 004. Just want to make sure that's okay to proceed.
Yes.
So the applicant is requesting approval for a multifamily development on parcels B002, B002Z, B003, and B006, totaling 29.14 plus or minus acres. The properties are zoned MX mixed use and is located within the Gateway South Overlay District. The original conditional use approval back in 2024 covered only 2 parcels for this particular project. The current request expands the project to include the additional parcels and requires a new conditional use approval. Staff recommends approval of the conditions to ensure compliance with the RM District, Gateway South overlay standards, and all plans reviewed prior to the development. The applicant is now requesting for variances to include the modifications to the porch and balcony requirements, reduction of brick coverage, adjustments to the sidewalk landscape strip, and relief from perimeter landscaping in limited areas. And on the screen now you have the balconies. They are showing them distributed throughout the particular development.
And that goes from second and third floor.
Yes.
Y'all saying yes? Okay.
So I don't know if you want to hold here and then we move to the second variance, or,
So, Council, when we spoke with them, we just said for consistency that it would be up to 50%. Is it 50% of the units? Yeah, so 50% of the units will have balconies, and that's considering second and third floor. Is that correct? Council, any questions regarding that? All right, next.
the second request is for a reduction in the brick, and on the screen here, you see where the applicant has proposed approximately 60% for the east elevation, yes, and approximately 50 for the west elevation.
So part of the, I didn't know part of the elevation had 5 floors. Some of y'all have 5 floors?
Should be 4.
When did y'all put that in?
It's the building splits, so it's 4 on one side and top on the other.
Okay. Have we ever seen an elevation with 5 floors?
I don't believe so. I think in the last presentation, this is the elevation we showed.
The top one?
The last work session, yes, ma'am.
Did you show the 5 floor one?
Yeah, it was the same one.
It couldn't have been the same one because it has balconies on it. I don't ever recall seeing 5 floors. What's the overlay requirement?
As far as the brick or the
The
max
number of
height?
floors?
Hold on, let me pull up the code section.
Yeah, I don't think we ever talked about, I could stand corrected, but can you go back and pull them in?
We had, excuse me, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But from what I remember when we did the thing up here on North Avenue,
Yes, sir.
that originally it was 3 floors, and that was what the fire department had recommended. We went to 4, but nothing more than 4 on that, and it was due to that the fire department was able to get to those floors. I thought
Yeah, like, I'm,
pretty, Mayor, I agree, I believe I recall us saying 4 floors.
yeah, have y'all ever seen 5 floors? That's why
I
I'm,
don't think, you know,
I mean, show us where we've been shown 5 floors.
Is the applicant able to come up?
No, but that's on like a certain elevation. I just need to see where they presented 5 floors to us before.
So the, I'm trying to remember back of what we presented originally. I think it started out 4 stories, and as we got into the civil grading of it, the split in the elevation allows for a fifth. It's really considered a basement floor. It's 4-story height, and then as the topo drops down, there's a retaining wall in the building, and you get a fifth.
Will residents live on that bottom floor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question to you, I thought this was gonna be an easy one tonight. When did y'all when did y'all inform us that y'all were going to 5 floors on any of the elevations?
It was probably the most recent elevations that we presented.
I mean, but did you come to us and say that the change from the original elevation is adding additional floor? Like, I look at these all the time, and I don't ever recall seeing 5 floors.
I don't think we presented an elevation that was 5 floors.
And so did you ever tell us, though, it was 5 floors?
It's in the plans that we submitted for permitting. It's within the building height regulations for the ordinance and overlay.
Well, y'all just. Mr. Kuda, were you ever informed of 5 floors?
So Maximum building height, floors, 4 stories and 60 feet is the max,
So is this still 60 feet?
Yes, ma'am.
but it exceeds 4 stories.
10, 20, 30, 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. Read it to me again, what's the wording?
Maximum building height, 4 stories and 60 feet. No building shall be erected that would exceed the elevation of the Clayton County Courthouse. So if the building exceeds the height of the courthouse, then
How many floors on the courthouse? 3? Somebody pull up a courthouse picture. So I'm assuming that by putting the 5th floor, you increased your number, you've increased your density as well.
It's the same number of total units, 196.
So how did it not change? You got bigger units or something?
It's just the layout of the building, really. When you get the splits in the buildings, you can make the buildings a little less long and a little taller on the one side. And so it allows us, with all the site constraints, it allows us to get the same number of units without making the buildings larger and lengthwise.
1, 2, 3. Do we count the clock tower on the old courthouse? So I'm looking at this elevation at the bottom all the way to the right. Is that like a drive under, like a bridge or something? Like?
No, that's the retaining wall, it was just dirt underneath that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the old courthouse, I don't know, y'all. Yes.
In the event that we're uncomfortable with the 5 stories, can you all remedy that?
So that would reduce the number of units that we have.
By how many?
I would have to count the basement level of the architectural plans to see how many units that are on the one side.
How many elevations have 5 floors?
I believe all 3 of them do.
All 3 of them?
Yes, ma'am.
How many buildings you have? 3 buildings?
3 buildings.
So now all 3, so why do you even have a 4 elevation up here?
Because on the street side, it's four floors. One side is 4, the other side is 5. And so the 4 stories is technically the ground floor. Architecturally, the way the codes are written, it's considered a basement, not considered a floor.
Okay, so when I look at so then why doesn't the first floor on the 5-floor building have, it doesn't have balconies?
This is an older elevation. The new elevations have balconies on from levels 2 all
But I
the
thought
way
y'all
to
was
the top.
bringing us accurate elevations.
I believe this is the one from the last meeting we had. This isn't the newer rendering that we have.
Where are the newer renderings? Do you have some newer renderings?
There you go. You go back this the other way.
I think I saw it.
No, no.
That's it?
This is them. This is the 4-story side on the street front. And we have the balconies, and every other unit stack, so 50% of the units have balconies. And then on the other side, 5-story side, the balconies go all the way to the top.
Where is the community room?
The community room will actually be on the ground floor here, on the kind of the left side.
How many square feet is the common space for the community room?
It's about 2,000 square feet.
How much?
About 2,000 square feet.
That's not big.
We'll also have about 3,000 square foot of commercial. Between commercial, leasing, and amenity space, there's probably 3,000 total of leasing and amenity, and then 3,000 commercial.
Yeah, this isn't looking like 50% balconies to me unless I'm doing something wrong.
So I had the same question, I asked the architect the same thing because it looked short. The reason it looks that way is because if you look, if you start from the left side of this rendering, you have the balconies on the corner there.
Mhm.
And these are actually the 3-bedroom units, and so it's a very large unit. And so that one unit goes all the way over to there's 2 windows, and then there's the 3 windows in the brown area.
Is it on the short side of the building or the long side?
It's on the long side.
So
So
then,
if
that
you're
means,
going straight to
that
the-
means your short side gonna be minus, that means your short side is -1. So you're saying that the balcony plus 1, how many windows go to that apartment? 1, 2, 3,
So
6?
So there's the balconies, and then there's 2 windows in the white, and then there's 3 in the brown area.
Mhm.
That's all one unit. That's all one 3-bedroom unit. And then the next stack is the stairwell, and then you skip the next stack, and then the next stack of that one has the balconies on it.
So basically, a balcony apartment for a 3-bedroom has 4 windows outside of the balcony.
Correct. 5 windows outside the balcony.
Okay, and a 2-bedroom must have 2. How many units again?
196.
196, so you got 100 balconies? So I'm gonna
Uh,
come count.
So the request is to remove the patios on the ground floor, and then 50% of the balconies above the ground floor. So there's 44 ground floor units. So if you take the 44 off the 196, it's 50% of the remaining units.
Yeah, what I said was 50% of the units need to have balconies. You can't count the ground floor because the ground floor can't have balconies.
Right, so the remaining units is 50% of the units have balconies.
Yeah.
That's right.
But the math was 50% of all units. So 196 divided by 2.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I said. I think it just ends up being an issue of, I've never heard of the 5 floors. And I've been involved in this project forever. Can you pull some original stuff for me this week? And you all said y'all decided to add the 5 floors when?
Just throughout the civil and architectural design.
So that's gonna require a variance.
But it's within the architectural height guidelines.
She just said, I thought, is it either or which goes higher or which goes lower?
So the section reads 4 stories and 60 feet. No building shall be erected that will exceed the elevation of the Clayton County Courthouse. Buildings having a height greater than that of the courthouse may be approved, provided that the site elevation will permit such construction to remain below the highest point of the courthouse.
Chief, go measure the courthouse for me.
May I?
Yes, ma'am.
So it said 4 stories and, not or, not, but 4 stories and.
Yes, 4 stories and 60 feet.
So wouldn't that read that we couldn't do 5 stories, even if it's 60 feet?
So there's a architectural loophole of sorts to where the 5th floor is actually calculated as a basement. It's not calculated as a floor. So that's the reason we're able to do a 5-story. We've done it.
Let me look at what, a basement has to have a certain type of, yeah, that's not a good loophole. There's a,
So a lot of the reason we have.
so part of that floor has to be below ground level to be considered a basement.
That's right. So the backside of it is below ground.
Okay, so if I'm looking at this picture and at the very bottom, and I go straight across, it looks like, I don't see where it starts to get to the below ground level. It looks like if you go all the way, you see what I'm saying? Like if I was to walk alongside the short side, I don't ever see it.
Probably a retaining wall.
It steps up over there. The rendering may not be exactly accurate, but it does step up from, it's four stories on the far side, 5 stories on this side. And the reason is because of the way the topo and the land lays out. And so if you drop it to 4 stories, the elevation of the road is gonna be so much higher. You're gonna have a wall, and you have a very narrow space between the wall and the building.
Show
So
me
to
another
drop it
picture.
to 4 stories, it creates an elevation issue.
Let me see the clicker.
So you're saying the buildings would be uneven, kind of?
There wouldn't be an
Well,
even-
he acting like I
it'd just be
can't.
Below grade.
So I won't be able to walk around the bottom floor all the way around any building. All of your elevations So is this a rendering of this building?
It's the same building, it's the four-story side of the same building.
So you saying like on that fourth corner where that little white car is, it
Mhm.
drops down?
That's right.
I still think it would require a variance, wouldn't it? We don't know how tall the courthouse building is.
Correct.
Can anybody Google that? Let me Google for you. All right, keep going. What else we need to talk about?
If we are uncomfortable with it,
Mhm.
are there any creative uses of the space that we could, instead of a base, can you expand the community room? Can we add an additional, I don't know, digital room or just something for the
Sure,
residents?
Sure, so based on our last conversation, we came up with a couple of creative ideas that we're excited about. We hope you guys are too. One area that we talked about is doing the community garden. You know, that was an easy thing to expand on. That's something we can commit to doing, is doing a community garden. If you flip through some of the images, there's some pictures of the community garden that we've done in some other communities. Another, if you go the other way. Right there, thank you. So these are all images from our other communities. Another additional amenity that we're excited about is including a wellness center. That's in addition to the commercial space. And so with this wellness center, the residents have a place where they can come down, get some supportive services for healthcare. They can do something as minimal as an annual checkup, or they can make this their primary care physician. And so that's something we've done at some senior communities, and we've started to expand it into some of our family communities as well. And so that's something we think is a real attribute for the residents, especially as we're kind of talking about, you know, quality of life. You know, we are asking to reduce the balconies and that sort of thing. We want to make sure that residents are having the highest quality of life possible at our community. So creating that wellness center, we think, would be a great attribute to the property.
But who's gonna coordinate getting a position there?
So we do. We coordinate it. We have a group already that we have an agreement with.
Is this a pet-friendly place?
We typically don't allow pets.
Okay.
No pets and no smoking.
So if we were uncomfortable, I'm a broken record, right? What, you would just make the buildings wider, longer, scrap that fifth floor, only put the wellness center and things in that fifth floor, nobody's living in the fifth floor?
So if it had to all go to 4 stories, I think I'm just trying to think through how that would work, engineering wise. It just creates a weird condition of, there's too much grade change between the 2 spaces. And so you just create a long alleyway of a large retaining wall behind the building. And when you do the 5th story, you put that retaining wall in the building. And so that allows you to make that space all usable versus having it, as a wall behind the building. So by moving it into the building, creating that 5th story condition, it creates more usable space around the building. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a question. Is this what the common area gonna look like? Is this 2,000 square feet?
Yeah, that's about 2,000 square feet. Yep. This is 55 Milton. This is one of the properties that we toured. This is the second one we went to.
Does the new one have a computer lab in it like this one?
Mm-hmm, it does. That's computer lab, fitness center. It'll have not the leasing office, but an open community room like this as well. The community garden, the wellness center.
The playground?
Playground. That's
Turf,
right.
turf playground. Y'all turf the playground?
We usually use a rubber mulch for the playground area.
Talking about the rubber mulch that was at Lee Street Park? Is that what we're talking about?
Rubber mulch is like you have to replace it and put it in.
Okay.
It's recycled. I think Council, I'll defer to you. I think my concern is that we just were not notified. Like this, to me, would have slid on in. And I think the significance of moving from a 4th-story and a 5th story, as much conversation as we had, should have been brought to our attention.
Understood?
And then y'all just sit here and be like, understood. Like, tempts me, make me want to table it. Like, we've had conversations, y'all. Faith and I on the phone, and they could have had ample amount of time to tell us this. All right, anything else, Ms. Akuta? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem?
Is there any way we can get a picture of the original, when this project was originally approved?
That's what I asked Ms. Faith.
Side-by-side comparison of what we originally approved and what they're proposing now.
So that's in this presentation. We
Okay.
can talk through it if you like.
Tell me where it is.
If you go to the first page,
Keep going this way?
keep going, yes, ma'am. Other way, I'm sorry.
Right here?
No, keep going the other. Keep going. I think it's the other way. A few more. There we go. There it is. So these were the images that were provided when we got the conditional use approval. This is the property that, for the council members who were able to make the property tour. This is the first one we went to in Marietta. This is a similar kind of size and scale as that rendering you saw. This is the architectural style that we're most trying to duplicate. And so you can kind of get an idea, you know, it has been a year ago, I guess, since we made that tour. So just wanted to show these images. This is what we presented in the conditional use approval. And
I think I want to see, you've shown us another set of renderings for this particular property. Where are those?
There are a few slides later on. And we can look at the site plan as well that we,
I don't see them.
and so if you go, and just to point out, both of these buildings have the 4-5 condition on them as well, 4-5 split.
I know, but I think what we're asking is, where are the original renderings that were provided to us?
It was those images. There was never a kind of an architectural rendering. I think we just showed examples of some of our other communities that it would architecturally resemble. And that was what was provided at that time.
Was there anything, Mr. Kuta, that you're aware of that stipulated, that said 4 stories?
Not that I was able to find in the original approval.
Okay. Yes, Councilman Lester.
If I recall, when we were doing Hartstone up there, it was originally 3 stories, but we went to 4 because they were not able to do the little bungalows
Duplexes.
around it because of a water issue with the Army Corps Engineers type of thing. But we had to do something because our building code at that time was only 4. I mean, it was only 3, and it had to be moved up 1 to accept things. I don't remember us ever changing that. I would actually like to have the fire department look at this, because there was issues about them not being able to reach some of these floors from where they would have to park their ladder trucks and stuff. And there was also something about being able to hook up to the standpipes for the sprinkler system throughout the building. And if I recall correctly, there was something in the county ordinance about our building codes and stuff that was in that same area.
And we have been working with the fire department to make sure that they approve all the conditions.
Well, they ain't said nothing to us, you know.
Ms. Akuta, have you spoken with them in regard to what he's referring to?
Yeah, so they're still in conversations with fire regarding this particular project.
So they haven't gotten the approval?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Has fire said anything about the additional stories or mentioned anything about the stories?
They haven't mentioned anything about the additional stories just yet. They were still working on the review.
Okay.
So what they received, the plans that they received, was it a 5-story plan? Let's check and verify that. Have you submitted plans to fire yet?
Yes, I spoke to the applicant and let them know they needed to send the plans to fire as well for review.
Did you
We
send
sent them the
5-story
latest.
plans to fire?
We did.
Okay.
Everybody got it before us, huh? Okay. Council, any more questions?
I just had one. This is in regards to the wellness center.
Mhm.
How would that work out? Would this be for residents of this community in particular, or would this be for Jonesboro residents? Or
So we could set it up either way, really. We can, where we've utilized this before has been in senior communities that are much smaller, 60 units kind of thing. And so with this many units, they could function, I think, sort of independently and just make it for residents, or you could open it up to the public as well. It just kind of depends on how we structure it. So it could go either way.
does any of your other properties have it to where they open it up to the public?
Yeah, we've done that before, yes.
Okay.
Do you have a preference on if it's to the public or just to the residents?
Let's just see what structure y'all have coming up and.
I think I guess I'll just be curious to see what both of those options look
Yeah.
like.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for that though.
Sure.
Mr. Cootie, you have anything else to add?
Not at this time regarding this variance.
Are you gonna clarify whether we need a variance for this 4th floor basement?
Yes, I'll have further conversations with fire, as well as the engineer to find out what options they have in this case.
Okay.
Can y'all let us know how many units would be the basement units? And if it's not a very large amount, if it's a deal breaker, if you don't have them, like if it's just 12 units and it's like, okay, we need them, or we can creatively figure out a way to still get them up there. I don't even know that I'm upset about, I don't like the lack of what I feel might be transparency, but other than that, I would be okay with the 5th floor being, or the basement floor being used solely for residents, entertainment, wellness, and maybe not living space. I think that might make me a little bit more comfortable, since it has to be there because of elevation and things like that. But I understand that you all need a certain amount of units to have the revenue.
Right.
So if we can just see if there are any ways that we can kind of meet in the middle there, I think that would be great.
Okay.
Please,
Yeah,
thank you.
I will
elevators.
notify you that on September 16, 2024, the packet that you received did indicate 4 stories, 60 feet.
Mhm.
Just saying. Council, anything else? Do we need to talk about the grass and the sidewalks?
Yeah. Yeah, is that the finish? I'd like to see the whole presentation.
So yeah, I'll quickly go through these. So variance 1 is the removal of the ground floor patios. There's a couple sections here to show what the top one is what the required condition is, and the bottom is what we're asking for. The top one you can see there's a 2-foot landscape strip, a 5-foot sidewalk, a 6-foot landscape buffer, and then a 6-foot patio. And we just don't have the space between the stream setbacks and the wetlands to the building setbacks to have that much space between the parking and the building. Excuse me. And so this one coincides with variance 4. So this one is the removal of the patio, and variance 4 is the removal of the 2-foot landscape strip. Just to get the space, 5-foot sidewalk, 5-foot landscape strip. And you can see in these images, some of our other communities that have a similar condition. The one on the bottom right has a 5-foot sidewalk and then about 6 feet to the face of that building. So that's a good image of what we're asking for.
And again, we're not doing the patio platforms.
I'm sorry?
The patios for the ground level, we're not doing those.
Correct. Correct.
One question.
Sure.
Mayor.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
On those ground floor levels,
Mhm.
will there be any egress from any of those apartments to the parking lot from there, or will they have to come back out through a main entrance and exit instead of?
So there's not any access from the ground floor into the unit from outside. All the buildings are access controlled, and so it allows for an additional level of security. You don't have that door, that patio door on the outside that's not access controlled, where you can't control who's kind of coming up to your unit. Sure. Variance 2 is the reduction in brick. The ordinance requires 2/3 brick, which is about 67%. We're requesting a reduction to 50%. So both of these renderings include the variance request. And so it's 50%, it's a little more than 50%, but that's where the brick line would be if the request was approved. The third variance, there's this requirement is for 6 feet of landscape to be around the entire building. There's 2 pinch points where we're just not able to get that 6 feet. You can see there with the red cloud in the bottom left corner of that building on the far right. There's just that corner where the sidewalk is at a 45-degree angle where it pinches into that 6-foot requirement. And then the second spot is in building 2000. The offset from the sidewalk to the building is not quite 6 feet. I think it's 5 feet right there. So it's a variance of just those 2 spots, not across the property. And then the fourth variance, we talked about already, but this is the removal of the 2-foot landscape strip between the parking and sidewalk that goes along with the patio reduction on the ground floor. So like I said before, there's not space to do that much space between the parking lot and the building. And so this is to reduce the 2-foot landscape strip.
Can you go back to the previous layout that had the aerial view, that one?
Mm-hmm.
Can you provide for Mrs. Akuta you can just mark on this one which sides will have 5 and which sides will have 4?
Sure.
Before next week for approval. So like building 200, will it be the landscape side or the parking lot side that has all of that stuff?
So it's all on the parking lot side. Everything slopes down to the stream. And so the high side is on the perimeter of the
Okay, if you can just
property.
identify that on writing so
Sure.
we can have it on the record. Any other questions? Ms. Akuta, anything else we need to be notified of?
Not at this time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That takes care of A, B, C, and D. Item E.
Council to discuss FY26 budget.
Council, you all were provided a budget. This is a preliminary discussion. If y'all had any questions or anything for us to consider. Ms. Akuta. And we have a few more meetings, so if y'all don't have any questions, or you can send them as we go. But I'm not asking for the budget to be approved next week. Are there any additions?
I got something I need to understand. And the latest that you sent us,
Well, I sent it. Is that the latest?
the latest.
I'm
That's the
assuming.
one from
Okay.
last week.
Yeah, I didn't see so many copies. I want to make sure it was this one.
You've got for the revenue, real property current, number 1. How did we only go up $78,000?
Well, it was based on the digest. We based it on, everything came from based on the digest for that particular number. The real current property, that's what we did. We just looked at the digest and got the number from there, and based on what we've seen as what we've collected so far this year, we're thinking the collections are gonna be about even for next year, about the same. So that's how we came up with that number.
The price of all the houses took a tremendous increase. So I'm not seeing how we can go in 2024 from 868,000 to 25, going to 1.5 million, and then turn around and only go up 78,000 for the next year in 26.
So a lot of this has to do with, we opted
You
in.
opted in.
And also, you have to realize, the rollback, we approved a millage rate of 9%.
9%.
The rollback, giving us the exact same amount, would have been at 7.8 something. That was the
Yep.
rollback. So you're only looking at a difference there, but opting in lessened this amount. This number, am I correct, comes directly from,
That's what we were looking at the digest.
yeah, and that's the big hit that we took by opting in. Is that right? Or we opted out? What did we do?
Yeah.
We opted in.
You opted in.
Yeah, and so that's the big hit that you all are seeing with only $700,000. Yeah, that's, we didn't make those numbers up. They was given to us based on the digest, considering that we opted in.
We had no tax sales in the last 2 years.
Know what now?
Property tax sales, we had no sales.
Maria
Maria?
has one coming up this year, I think.
We had one last year. We had one every year. Now, it only ends up being about, what, 4 properties? Yeah, but the biggest increase, I mean, the reason why we don't have a bigger one is because we opted in, and that's what we were afraid of. Even with not increasing the millage rate, the opt-in still would keep us really, really low on property, on real property. All right. Anything else? And you can provide the digest to us.
Yeah, we can get that. I'll get it in the morning.
There were a lot of figures that we wanted to go over on this.
Okay, we can.
Okay.
Well, tell me what page you're on.
That's the first page.
Oh, the second one? Yes, sir.
Where are we on the expenses now?
Mhm.
Okay.
I believe.
And if you would tell us the item number, like always to the
Well, I
left.
believe on the very first meeting that we had,
Mm-hmm.
we agreed to do away with the council's travel and special incentives.
I thought I remember we cut those in half.
Nope.
Okay. I thought we did bring those
I'm
back.
I'm recommending that they're brought back only because the new council members need to go to new council training. There's trainings that we're gonna have to go to for the grants that we receive, so I rolled them back at half. And we kept the education and training because we said we'll try to do as much as possible, but I do feel like we may potentially have 2 or 3 new council members, and they should be able to go to the new council training and not have to come back and forth every day. And even if they do come back and forth every day, yeah, they can't do that. So that's why we put it back in and cut it in half. The special initiative, I rolled that back in because I just felt like there's no way you can serve your community and not have some type of funding for any type of initiative if a large part of our role is hopefully servant leaders. Now, if y'all want to cut it in half to 500, but, no, I'm sorry, okay.
We had spoke about that at the meeting. I was the one who advocated to get the funds back. I think I remember it was Resident Wise maybe who came and spoke about it. It was that particular meeting, if we need to go back and find it, but I wanted to fight for it because we utilize it. And those of us who didn't utilize all of it last year were kind enough to donate it to the people who are utilizing it. So I don't think that it should go, some of the people donated it. I don't think that it should go away because we're utilizing it for the community.
All right, anything else in Fund 1300? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem?
Line items
If you-
26 and 27.
Mhm.
That's a lot of money in office supplies and miscellaneous supplies for council.
Okay, and
That's the printer.
that's the printer. See, that's the what, I took some of that money that was in a newsletter and I moved it down to, I'm thinking was office supplies. But we can put in a number in there that will match all the other numbers for that printer, for the tri-copy, and put it into 1,300 if we want to keep the mayors there. Or if we have to, we can move it to 1,500.
Okay.
But that's what I moved. I moved some of that money down in there so that we would be able to cover that for next year.
And they keep, you all say the mayor, like I
know it's not yours,
but I
but
mean,
I'm
that's
just
what,
saying, this 1,300 is mayor and council.
Yeah.
It's not yours specifically, but
yeah, that's, yeah, it's
we break,
suite,
it's in the
yeah.
mayor's suite.
It serves City Hall.
It serves City Hall.
Yeah, it's called actually Jonesboro City Printer.
Yeah, because I can't print in color, so she prints for me, so I can't print in color.
Yeah, so that printer cost is more than some of the other ones because of the features that we have on
Yeah,
it.
and yours is the only one that can print, and that one's the only one that
Now
can
stop
print in
saying
color.
yours.
Stop saying yours, okay, that's the only one that can print in color.
Yeah, because I don't even use it.
Okay, that's the only one that can print in color, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Some of the office supplies do go to printing the books. City Clerk Jewett can attest to the paper cost. It goes under 1,300. The tabs that we provide for the binders goes up under 1,300. When we have to replace binders, that comes out of 1,300 because we do budget, or we do allocate appropriately. So the office supplies do stack up, and that is a hard hit with these books.
So any other questions on the office supplies or miscellaneous supplies?
Mayor, Mayor,
Yes.
I don't have any questions about the office supplies and miscellaneous supplies. Just had a question about the JYCG line item.
Is that on this page? It is?
It is. Youth council, yep, it's on there.
Okay, yeah, help me. Tell me the line number, please, all the way to the 10. Okay, thank you.
10, yes. And I understand that we're tightening it up, and I respect that reality. Just want to be mindful not to reduce the opportunities for our youth. We started, in 2024, we started with $4,800, and this year we upped it to $8,800, but I see that this budget's reflecting that it gets cuts to $4,000.
Correct. So let me explain. So what we were trying to do, based on the millage rate, reduce by department. And so since that was in the same department as the travel, then I had to find somewhere to pull it from. And although I feel like everything that we do for the youth council is valuable and important, I still had to advocate for council, get the necessary training that they needed. So even though adding back the travel, which was at 0, still didn't take all of it, I had to find something within that department to adjust. So we can put the youth council back, but then we'll have to take out our travel. And so I felt like it was only fair that the youth council still got something, but then also council members, particularly because we may have 2 to 3 new council members, still have the opportunity to travel.
Mayor,
Yes.
what if
Well, hold on 1 second. Was that?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Appreciate
sorry.
it.
I was gonna say, what if we consider, reducing the travel on the already seated council members and leaving the travel open for the for the 3 seats that will be filled tomorrow?
Okay, so we can divide that in half,
The ones that are
1250.
already seated, we can do our training, remotely or online,
Okay.
and that would allow a travel budget for the incoming council people, so they could go to meetings.
I would ask that mine remain the same. I will tell you that my travel this year has been very productive. Soon as the federal government approves our budget, we will have $5 million. That was a result of my travel. Councilman Dixon actually traveled with me and saw what that looks like to advocate for those funds. We also received a $15,000, was it $15,000? The $15,000 SCEI grant came from a out-of-state National League of Cities event, and that very well, thank you, Ms. Akuta, for filling out her application, may turn into an additional $60,000. So I would ask that at least my travel remain the same, and it's not uncommon practice that the mayor's travel is slightly above others, but I can tell you that for $1,250 investment, we are turning over the funds just in 2 grants, the $5,000, the $15,000, and hopefully the $5 million grant. Mm-hmm.
I mean this with as much respect as I can. While I've been on this council, I've seen us approve a multitude of things ranging from $30,000, $100,000 for investigations, for financial audits, and it is what it is, I understand that, but we always find a way to get that money, to find that money to fuel those things. Travel, the JYCG budget, all of those things, put them all together, and we're still not over $15,000. If we give them back their $4,000, if every council member gets the other $1,000 back, and these are things that JYCG hosts things in the community more than most of us, including myself as council, host in the community for,
Not me.
as council,
Okay.
for the community. And there are things for the kids to come to. They're hosting movie nights. They're doing things for our community. And I just don't think that $4,000 is worth, or $4,800 is worth nickel and diming when we can just approve a $30,000, hopefully, investigation or a $95,000 audit or a $50,000 celebration for one day. And so I think that we should prioritize, reprioritize, see what really matters. Traveling is important because we need to go to GMA, we need to learn. If it's another conference that we need to go to, we should be able to do those things. Even as a seating council member, a council member that's been here for a year or two, or coming on 2 years, there are still things that I need to learn. There are still places that I want to go to be a better council member. And I understand some people have 14 years and 7 years and 6 years, but everybody does not. And so I think if we can find, or we're okay with finding $100,000, $30,000 for things that will make us better council members or things that are for our community, I think we should be able to find that money somewhere. That's my piece.
Thank you.
All right, was there anything else on this page? Any other specific line items in question?
I had a question on the line 39, group insurance. Did we ever get an update? Last time we did this was in August. We've only used $18,000 of $184,000 that we set aside.
Well, I think that was because of some backlog of getting invoices in there. So, I mean, I would have to pull it to tell you how much it is, because I've been going in there updating that myself. I did some this week myself. I had to go in and put in some invoices for group insurance and make sure those invoices got posted to the system. So it should be up to date now. So that was some of the problem with that group insurance, is that those invoices had not been entered. So I did some of those this week, so.
And
hopefully
actually, that number needs to increase, because Ms. Maria, how much did they say, 10%? Do you remember what they said the increase would be?
But we did talk about the last one that
We
I
got-
had, and at the end of the year for 24, there was a $24,000 difference that never was used.
And I think a lot of our group insurance comes from a check that we get back. Maria may can explain it better, like, depending on what we use, or is that the other insurance policy? Something we get, okay, maybe not. Oh, sometimes, I'm sorry, here it is. If we don't have all our positions, this is based on assuming all positions are filled. So at the end of the year, we may not use all the money because you're not paying health insurance for positions that aren't filled. So when you end up with 24,000 left over, is it safe to assume that it's because we didn't have to pay health insurance for vacant positions? Am I correct? Okay, so $184,000 is calculated on is calculated on all of those regular employees being filled. So when those positions are not filled, so we can't reduce it and then end up filling all the positions. Does that make sense? The health insurance is based on employees, not a set rate. They don't just say, we charge you $20 to the city of Jonesboro. No, it's per employee. And so if employees are not hired, then we don't pay as much. And so because we're maybe not funding a particular position in there, it kind of stayed the same even with the potential increase. All right, what other line item?
Got a question about the retirement contributions also.
I don't know anything about that. Can you help, somebody help me with the retirement contribution?
It's on line 42.
Mhm.
We got 31,000 there, according to the documents that you gave us in August. We're already $19,000 over. And this is just for admin.
You want to
Okay.
circle that and go back and look at that?
Yeah, I definitely have to go back and look at that one.
Every retirement that I saw, except for JPD, was overdrawn.
Okay.
We'll still go looking at. All right, next.
The 52, 12, 90,
What line, what line?
50.
Mm-hmm.
How did we go from 40,000, what we budgeted, up to 130,000?
Because that's the line that they used to pay Mr. Tran. And so that's what I was telling them, we can't leave that at 40, we have to, Mr. Tran's contract is at least $79,000, $80,000. So we gotta put money in there for his contract. Because that's the
Where we've
line
been
that,
paying it this year?
huh?
Where we've been paying it this year?
From that line item, and that's why that particular line item, that's what I was telling you and Karen the other day when we were talking, I was like, we gotta get that to at least 100,000, because that's where Mr. Tran's contract is coming
Yeah,
from.
5,500 times 12 is
Yeah.
about 60, yeah.
Yeah, so his contract's at least $77,000, $78,000, something like that.
Anybody else on that page? Next page.
Well, what about the election?
I-
We got 27,000 on 523410.
Yeah, we have nothing this year for 2026.
We got 27,000 still sitting there, and we got $17,000 for poll workers.
Are you talking about this year or next year? We're talking about next year's budget.
No, this is this year's budget.
Okay, so what's your
2025.
question?
Well, that's 27,000, where's it going?
We haven't paid, they haven't, the county hasn't requisitioned us for the payment that we owe them, the 11,000. I don't understand what you mean by where it's going.
Well, if they're only supposed to get the 11,000, we've got 27,000 and 17,000
Okay, that's,
already budgeted.
okay, but next year, we're talking about next year's budget, and next year we have no money budget for elections. Do y'all see that? Y'all see line 66 says elections. This year, $27,000 was budgeted. However, for 2026, knock on wood, we don't have to have an election, and we budgeted no money. So you saying we should budget some money?
Well, there's 12.5 is for 2025 and 27,000. So if they're only supposed to get 11,000, so you're telling me the rest of it is going back into general fund?
Well, no, that's not how, but, so are you talking about the poll workers that we allocated 12,500 for?
Cause is he saying for 2025?
He's saying for 25.
We're only using 11,000 of it for the county. So you wanna know what's gonna happen to that other?
The same thing
particular
that
line?
happens to every line item that we got left, it goes back to the general fund.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to clean up some of these line items at the
Correct.
end of the year. Some of these line items are definitely gonna have to be cleaned up, particularly that one where they were paying Mr. Tran and they only budgeted for $40,000 in there. So that's one of the items that's gonna have to be cleaned up. And we can use those line items to clean up some of these other line items.
Yeah, but I'm still asking about, does anybody have any concern that we don't have money budgeted for poll workers for 26, and we don't have money budgeted for elections in 26? Because I'm focusing on fiscal year 26. Does anybody, are y'all okay not having money for that?
I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
Yeah, we don't have an election next year, so I think that's appropriate.
okay.
Except that the money that is in there, we might want to consider a budget amendment for this year.
Yeah.
Well, she has a whole, it's gonna be a list of budget amendments. She just has to get
I
through
have to
everything
clean it
for the
up.
audit, for
I
all
have
the
to clean
audits.
all that up at the end of the year, because tomorrow we got some stuff today from the Plant Moran,
Moran.
so tomorrow I'm gonna work on that. But then in November, before the end of November, I'm gonna make sure we get all this cleaned up, because there's some line items that we need to look at as far as, Social Security, Medicare, and everything like that. We need to make sure at the end of the year, we have the funds to budget into those particular line items. So I'm just gonna do a cleanup near the end of the year to get all this cleaned up and make sure everything is where it needs to be. Because I don't want us to, I see that in some of these other years, we've had some negative items at the end of the year. I don't want us to go at the end of the year and have negative line items. So we will clean them up. So we'll find somewhere to put that money. We will definitely find somewhere to put it.
All right, next line.
Line 90, what about the debt service?
Okay.
I think you moved that to a certain, the debt service.
That's, yeah, the debt service is at the end of the,
For this year, the 230?
no, it's 617, transfer to debt services this year will be 617, 617,000.
So she took it from this line, and I guess explain to them why you moved it to the,
We're moving it over there because we're actually doing a transfer of that money from, we're actually doing a transfer to the debt service. We're gonna move that money from the general fund to the debt service, and that's why we moved it over here, to do it as a transfer.
and if you look at the revenue, you'll see the SPOS that comes in that offsets that.
That offsets it.
And SPOS, thank goodness, is trending a little high this year. All righty. Any other questions on this page? Next page, starting on line 106. Just call my name, if you, Mayor Pro Tem.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is just for clarity in my mind. I noticed under administration, we have, utilities and cable services, and then we have some of the same items under city center. Why is that? Because administration is within this building.
Yeah, and so it has always been set up like that since this building opened. Like last year when y'all looked at this budget, it was set up the same way. Mrs.
Shouldn't that be consolidated because?
I mean, it definitely can be, but just for the record, it's been like this, and so she just kind of stepped into what was already created since the building opened. So, and that's why one of the things, like the printer, we've decided to delegate it out rather than one printer bill to go in. We do the same thing, kind of like with a cell bill and everything like that. How would you prefer it to happen, Mrs. Kennedy?
I mean, it's fine the way it is, but I mean, we can consolidate some of these accounts, and so we won't have but 1565 is already set up in there, so, you know, I mean, it's just how it looks better to you guys is what it is.
Well, now you gotta run it, so what's good financial practices?
Yeah, I mean, if 1565 isn't any different than 1500, we can combine them.
But hold on one second. I guess let's look and see what's been paid out of each one
Okay.
to make sure that none of our other properties are being paid out of that. So if you would just go look and see
Yeah,
what has been paid out and then come back and let us know. So if you would flag both of those lines.
okay.
Is there any way to cut some of that?
What, cable?
We took a big chunk, we went from 21.9 to 25.
What line?
2,000.
What line are you on?
Line,
Oh,
103.
cable and internet services, yeah,
Yeah, 103, and that doesn't include the 5,000 that's at line 61.
yeah.
You're looking at $37,000 for everybody to watch TV?
No, it's not watching TV. Our phones run through.
Yeah, we
It's
got.
more than just TV.
Everything runs through those lines, so.
They're more, and
yeah.
cable probably isn't the best word. Like, don't nobody watch
Yeah.
cable around here. Who got TVs around here? We got one in the main office.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, Councilman Lester.
This sort of falls under some of this over here too. It's like pest control, you got it under administration, under city center ops, I think it's called under public safety and public works. I mean, I can sort of understand the public works, because they're in a totally different building than this is. But when you got courts, law enforcement, in other words, you got 2 or 3 different things that say pest control.
Yeah, but then when you get one bill and one group gets hit with that pest control bill, that's where it starts to get tricky, because one person's like, okay, we're the courts and we're paying the pest control bill for the whole center. So that's why they, I'm assuming that's why they break it up like that.
We can change them, I just,
To me, it would seem to be under, not so much administration, but under the center itself.
Okay.
Because that would be the, you know.
yeah, and we can correct, I like to just say this for the employees, well, for Ms. Kennedy. These line items were identical to the budget that we approved last year. So the changes that you all are making, I appreciate them and we'll definitely consider them, but just know that you all approved pest control and administration last year, pest control and city ops. So she just simply followed every line item that was existing, but we can go in and look at all pest controls and, again, look at what's been spent out and see where, again, I think sometimes administration, if I can recall correctly, is some of our city-owned property, and city ops is this building here. Is that right, y'all? Okay. So that might have been why, that might have been the rationale behind it, but, and I think it might look cleaner if administration pays for city buildings. I don't know. But just know, because I know people probably listening at home like, thinking like, oh, we done changed stuff. No, this is how it was approved in '24. This is how it was approved in '25, and we can change it for '26. All righty. We did line items line numbers 106 to 157. Any questions from 158 to 209? That includes part of public safety and public works.
I got a question for, again, on municipal court,
What line, please?
114.
114, yes.
We got 2 individuals working there,
Yes.
cost $40,000 for group insurance for 2 people.
All right, circle that and go back and look at that one.
Okay.
All right, next.
Again, the retirement,
Okay.
you got the 4,200, we're showing $7,396 over already.
Okay.
All righty, next.
I think that judge is included in that insurance also.
I don't think we do judge.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm, he's contractual.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on that page? Lines 106 to 157. Mayor Pro Tem?
Mayor, I just have
Yes.
one question. Line item 137, under public safety. What is that line item? It just says other professional services.
Is that all of your,
Is that
that's $454,000.
I think that's Red Speed,
Is
yeah.
that the equipment?
That's a red speed. And it balances out on the revenue part.
Yeah, I just
We're
wanted.
working to separate that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
So to have a revenue and expenditure.
Okay, perfect. Anything else from numbers 106 to 157? All right, next page, 155 to 209, part of public safety and part of public works.
We got 167, public safety there,
Mm-hmm.
other equipment. And then out to the side is a definition that says, no identified needs.
Chief, what is that? It says 98,500. Yeah, circle that and let Chief speak to that. Put Chief's name next to it.
Other equipment.
What line item is that?
Is it
Narrative
line
from
167?
the same budget as well.
No, on this one.
Yeah.
Circle it. Okay.
Chief will get us back with that.
Okay.
All right. Anything else in public safety?
Mayor, I had just a question about the community garden. It's actually 157.
Yeah, so we split that. So the community garden, so it used to just be community outreach 10,000 for the previous year and was nothing for the community garden. So to clean up some of the bookkeeping, we split it in half so that the community garden finance will come directly from that, but it's the same 10,000. We just split it in half between the two. You understand?
So we got plans for the community garden for $5,000.
Well, that's the way we divide it. Is that right, Chief? So if you look and see, community outreach was 10,000 last year. And so what we're finding out in pool cash, some of the expenses clearly was for the garden, so to kind of clean it up, kind of like with the grants, we just separate the funds now. It might be give or take less and have to do it, but we just simplicity's sake, split it in half.
Gotcha.
And that's grant funded, am I correct? Do we get grant funding for that?
We do get some grant funding.
Okay.
Depending on what we qualify for, and you can only apply for it every 3 years.
Okay, perfect.
Is the original grant that we had from that already been wiped out?
Oh, I don't know.
No, they, because of the funding issues, things like that, they cut us a check for their portion of it. We
Okay.
still have to match the in-kind portion of it, so they did cut that, and it's been allocated.
Okay.
Anybody else from 158 to 209?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question on line item 200, for signs and banners. So that's $10,000. What is that amount for?
Is that where we get street signs from?
What line item?
That is our street sign?
So we've already, I know we upgraded some of those already. Is there still some in need? Do we have a reason to have? Because I'm looking and seeing in 24, we only had a small amount on that line item.
We can cut it to whatever y'all want to cut it, but I know we wanted to go through and change all the streets. The top cappers that say Historic Jonesboro, I wish you could have brought one. How bad that, talking about the cap toppers. Do all those need to be, yeah, the historic, yeah, all of those need to be replaced. But we can cut it if y'all want to.
Were they the 10,000 from this year? Was that utilized already?
I think we utilized some of it. What is the, item on that?
You mean for the signs and banners?
Mm-hmm.
I have to pull it.
Okay, check the balance on that for
I
me.
will.
All right, anybody else?
Question. So where would pressure washing come in at on this line item, on the public works?
Park supplies, it could come up under that if we're pressure washing the park. Building and facility maintenance, it could come from that.
Okay. Because I was just noticing the historic downtown placements across the street from the bank. Maybe just at the top, you just need to pressure wash. Just trying to see if that was being prioritized in the budget at all.
I mean, it's not like a priority, but it's in his budget to do it if he needs it done. Anything else from 158 to 209? Going once. All right. Line numbers 210 to 237.
I had a question on 212.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was last month, we allocated, transferred $46,000 for furniture.
Mm-hmm.
We already have 30,000 in the budget for this year.
No,
on
that,
furniture.
we took the furniture out. There's nothing in the
That's for 2026.
2026.
I'm asking the question for the 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
That is for 2025, but yet we transferred over 46,000 to buy the furniture.
No, we only transferred 16 to make it to the,
No.
we transferred 16
No.
for the furniture.
He said
There was
no.
a 40 and there was a 16 that we transferred.
We transferred
And
the
you
16.
transferred- You
Oh,
corrected.
oh.
Mm-hmm, 16 for the,
Well, what about the 40,000?
it wasn't 40 in there, it was 30. It was 30,000.
I thought we was trying to make it to get to
We was trying to make
46,000.
it get to 46 because the actual bill was 45. And then they had to put in
But
delivery or something like
put
that.
a little question mark and go find that out.
Yeah,
Can
but
you-
it was 30, and then we moved 16, and that made it 46. So we could cover the $45,000 bill.
That's what I thought, but my memory don't always be correct.
Okay.
Do you have something that shows that we did 40,000?
Just the ordinance on the other, I left it at home.
Well,
There was two transfers.
Yeah,
There was for 40,000.
the other one was for the police department for software. That was 40,000 for the software. Transferred it to the software for the, chief, for the professional service. We transferred, 40,000 from other professional services in the chief's category to software. Because there was some new software or something they got over there, and so we had to move that money to the software section of it.
Can you find it, Ms. Chandrella?
But it was 40,000 for the chief's department, and 16,000 for the furniture.
No, but,
It may be, but yeah, I remember they both had to be corrected.
Yep,
yeah, but we corrected
we
them.
did.
That's fine.
Okay.
So in my notes, I have listed here, transfer of $40,000 from other professional services to software support line item. And then we did a transfer of $16,000 from streetlights to furniture and fixture line items.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
All right. Anything else? Ms. Kennedy, you got any questions?
Mayor,
Yes.
I have one more question about my page.
You keep saying one more, but go ahead. You keep saying one more. Just say I got a question. Okay, go ahead.
223, on 223.
223, hold on a second.
Under, code enforcement.
Yeah.
The group insurance, $19,400.
Yeah, she's gonna have to adjust that.
That's got to wait.
Yeah, no, she's gonna go back and look through all the group insurance, and we have a meeting this week with group insurance too. Council, only other thing, I just want these to note that these include the budget cuts and also the staff budget cuts, and so it includes the budget cut for the receptionist. I'm struggling with that only because I feel like that's just an integral part of our level of customer service. So once we do all of that, I'm going to try to find a way to fund that position unless somebody is totally opposed to it. I won't make the effort.
I think it's important.
Fund which position now, I'm sorry?
Our receptionist, the receptionist.
Yeah, I think we could probably fund, especially in these group insurance cuts.
No, that's what I said. So, I mean, if y'all opposed to funding, I just didn't want to waste the time trying to find the funds. Okay.
You definitely need somebody out there full time.
Yeah, no, definitely. We just pulled it out to try to make the contingency. And so we'll get those and get those back to you all. Thank y'all so much, Council. If y'all have any other questions that come up during the week, please let us know so we can try to get this final. My goal is to be able to approve a budget in December. Thank y'all so much. And feel free to copy Ms. Kennedy on any emails if you come up with anything additional. All right, next on the agenda, item F.
Council to discuss the progress of the forensic audit.
I guess you wanted to. Oh.
About 4:15 today, right before I was getting finished, we got some information from Plant Moran about some stuff that they wanted. So it's stuff that I've already given to Tab and Tab. So in the morning, it'll take me about maybe an hour or so to get it together for them, put it in a way they would like it, and then I'll email it to them. And that's all. That's the status of it. So they emailed me today, so
And
I'll get it to them tomorrow.
And I can add to Ms. Kennedy that Plant Moran said they'll be here on Monday, boots on the ground. So,
They'll be here Monday.
pardon me?
I'm sorry, you said they'll be here Monday?
They'll be here Monday.
Okay, great.
Yeah, physically present.
For the council meeting or to come do the field work?
Field work.
Field work, okay.
Not for, yeah.
Yeah, for field
Field
work.
work.
Not
I
I can't hear you.
I mean, how many days would they do field work? They might be here for the meeting if we need them.
Yeah, I have no idea how.
Okay, can you call and ask them? Just ask them, like, I don't know how long, I just want to make sure that Ms. Kennedy is available and everything, so.
Yeah, I'm happy.
We might have two folks here for
happy to
field work
make-
next week.
I sensed they were gonna be here for days and days and days.
Okay.
Like
Well,
not
I'm
just
just,
one day.
yeah, I
With the
just,
little
miss-
bit of stuff that they asked for, they need that much time? to go
well, I mean,
through?
they doing the same thing the regular audit people doing, we just paying double, so, I mean,
I'm just saying,
yeah. Let them
that
just,
little bit of stuff, you need
they
that
gotta make
much
the money.
time to go through it?
that's what- yeah. But we gotta find out what BSA is too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because if they want to see bank statements and stuff like that, not necessarily give them access to the bank account, but they can sit right there and I can pull up the bank account, run the statements that they want and pull them out right then and there. I'm going to give them bank statements, but if they want access to the accounts, that's how we're going to have to do it.
Okay.
Because it takes too long to go through Dignon,
Dignan,
Laura,
correct.
to get access to stuff like that.
Council, any other questions regarding the forensic audit? Yes.
Is it the first request that you've had from them, or?
This is the first one I've seen, yeah.
And she wasn't
First
copied on
one.
the email. I had to add her
Yeah,
to the
so
email.
the mayor's been emailing back and forth, you know, if you have questions. So this is the first one I got from them.
Have we paid them? How much, do we know how much we paid them?
The only one I've seen is the original payment that was made, so I haven't seen any invoices from them. I guess once they start phase two, and depending on how deep they get in phase two, then they'll send invoices.
Anybody remember how much we paid them for the initial? And this is the first time
It's
reaching
like
out to the finance director?
$40,000.
$40,000?
I think it was like 40,000.
And there was nothing that they could have done before reaching out to you?
We had asked, well,
Well, I wasn't here for
No,
that
I'm not
first
saying,
part.
I guess.
no,
I'm
Attorney
asking-
Dryer asked them to go ahead and start working, so I think we approved the
30,000.
30,000, it was, the
30.
30, this was approved on September 8th. I didn't get the contract until October 1st from Plant Moran. So I don't know what happened between September 28th and
So that's why I'm
September
asking,
8th.
like, what did the money go, what have they done? Is the money on retain, like, how does,
Well,
So
from,
we-
from what I understand from the initial thing, they met with the council. So then
So-
this is phase two that they're starting on now.
So I think what might help, so we originally said $65,000. So I wanted to know how much of the $65,000 have been spent, because we also approved another 30,000. I would hope that phase one didn't cost up to $65,000.
I thought it was 40,
15,000.
15,000.
Okay, so they still,
That's top of my head, but I'm pretty sure
so,
that's
so we
right,
still,
15.
they can still bill up to 85,000. And so that's what I was curious, that we've only spent 15,000, but y'all approved the additional 30, and they hadn't even finished using the 65. So it's almost like they wouldn't get started until they knew they was gonna get that extra 30. But I think Attorney Dryer, you notified them shortly after September 8th when we approved it, and I didn't get a contract to sign until October 1st.
Yes, Mayor, I put together the whole timeline for council earlier today. I hope everybody saw that. Did you get a document?
I didn't have a
Word
document, I meant to tell
Today,
you,
I haven't.
it wasn't attached, I meant to tell you that.
I am so sorry. I spent 3 hours this morning doing that. I'll send it everybody now.
Yep, so I
You talking
do,
about on the email communications link?
I thought, was it a link? Maybe I didn't see it.
Was it included in that link?
I'm not sure.
Now, he said
They-
this was a document he worked on this morning, correct?
Okay.
So I just know that they sent the contract to me on October 1st. I opened it on October 6th. It was some corrections regarding my name and one of the items. They gave it back to me on October 10th, and I signed it on October 10th. So I don't know what happened, but it was my understanding that Attorney Dryer had told them to go ahead and continue some of the work. But they will probably use $95,000, y'all, because you gave it to them. But maybe we could ask them how many billable, the amount that has been, they've done so far. Because like I said, the list that they're asking for shouldn't cost us, that's more than our regular yearly audit.
It wasn't that much that they asked for today, so, yeah.
Is it customary for a forensic audit to cost more than a regular audit?
Well, you know, forensic audit is supposed to be very specific. It's supposed to just narrow it down to, I want to look at this, but this one seems to be very broad. It's just like,
So we pretty much going to pay for 2 years regular audits and the amount of one forensic audit that's looking at the same thing the regular audit is looking at. But just like to put that out there with the taxpayers' money. All right, any other questions regarding the forensic audit? Okay, item G.
Council to discuss Jonesboro Youth City Government Internship Program.
City of Jonesboro Internship
City
Program.
of Jonesboro Internship Program.
Thank you. And I just wanted to follow up on the Jonesboro Internship Program that was approved in 2023. I know in 2024, 2025 actually, earlier this year, we approved the $500 stipends for 2 interns for the summer and 3 $500 stipends for the interns in the fall. So just wanted to just get clarity on how we should move forward in making sure that the interns receive their compensation.
What's the question?
Just want to,
Well, I mean, it was never submitted to us who the interns were, but if you want to pay them, we go ahead and pay them, submit the invoices.
what would you like for me to provide? Do I need to go through the finances office, city clerk's office, check request?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you didn't bring them to us. We had asked that whoever the internships were submitted to us, but, I mean, it's retro. however Ms. Candy want to pay them.
So that you said go through the finance director.
I don't know.
Ms. Kennedy is going, thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, but moving forward, we need to approve the internships and know that they're starting before we go. All right, if there's no other business, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? We're now adjourned. Mr. Kuta, I'm sorry.
I'm telling you.